Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the LCK for the last day of Week 3. It is a beautiful Sunday, and it is me, Valdez, with Wadid. Welcome back to the casting desk, the English casting desk, I should say. You've been very busy doing a lot of stuff here for the LCK. How does it feel to be back once again?
I love it, especially with this kind of matchup. I love it. LCK,
yeah,
so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We are starting off with SeolHaeOne Prince up against DRX, which, again, on paper, we're not going to lie to you guys, does look like a very one-sided matchup here, as DRX is currently undefeated. Wadid, what is your impression of their run so far?
Oh yeah, I mean, the way how they play for early game into the late game, it's just perfect. Like, this is the play style that LCK needed, so I'm glad that they're first place.
Yeah, it does feel good that, you know, they're kind of taking some of those lessons from MSC, let's say, and really taking it into their own play style and doing really well with it. Everybody on the team looks very confident, and they should win here up against SeolHaeOne Prince, but SeolHaeOne Prince do have some tricks up their sleeve. They are going to be switching up their roster a little bit coming into this match.
I mean, currently they are having 4 games losing streak, so they really have to change something. So because of that, Trigger and Nia is coming in really hard. And I mean, they tried a lot of new things like Morgana, Pike, bot lane, lost split. So I think maybe this can be really great chance for SeolHaeOne Prince as well, even though it looks really rough and hard matchup.
Yeah, I mean, as we did say yesterday, when things are not going well, you have to change something rather than take more than 4 straight L's, as it does say up there on the top. DRX, the runaway train that nobody can seem to stop. And Doran, who dove into Team Dynamics spawning location out of rage. Can he unleash his rage on SeolHaeOne Prince today? I'm sure that will happen in at least one of these games.
And yeah, I mean, if SeolHaeOne Prince really want to take the win against DRX, they really need to have Mickey to perform really good, because on the top and both sides, I really don't think that DRX can lose in any chance. So even though mid matchup is really rough, we saw a lot of potential from Mickey when he plays good, and let's see what dice he rolls today.
He's going to be hoping for the 6th today. Hopefully he'll pull out a 12th pick, I believe. Well, he's played 10 unique picks in 2 games of Twisted Fate. That's the only repeat champion that he has played. So maybe an 11th pick here for Mickey, as we're going to take a look at the stats as it usually happens in any top of the stage, top of the standings is what I'm trying to say, versus the bottom of the standings. Generally, you're going to see a lot of one-sidedness here, as we even highlight the amount of deaths SeolHaeOne Prince has taken. That's a lot.
It's almost 2 times of DRX's deaths, right? I mean, they die a lot, but also they kill a lot, which means they play always aggressive. I mean, their aggressiveness is really a weird aggressiveness, because they always play really aggressive when they need to play passive. So let's see if they adapted on this kind of meta when they need some really smart plays in a lot of places.
Yeah, well, they are definitely a team that feeds off of energy. That is for sure. Everybody has seen the commercials with SeolHaeOne Prince screaming into the mic, and part of that was actually hybrid, and he's not going to be starting here in game number 1, so we'll see if maybe a little bit of calmness and collectiveness is going to come into the team through the bottom lane. As we're also taking a look here at DRX's lineup, you may think maybe against this team, maybe Quad will play. No. Chovy plays every game.
No way. I mean, they're undefeated. They're only one team that it's undefeated in LCK, so I think they really want to keep it, because it's kind of rare and it looks great, even though like they lost a lot of game 2s. But still they're undefeated, so there is no reason to change any rosters. And this is the key player I was talking about.
Yes.
Only hope for SeolHaeOne.
Yes, and so far he, I mean, they're down at the bottom. here, so it is rough to have good stats for any one player. You can see that he doesn't get crushed in lane, at least. A little bit better than his team performance. And Chovy and Mickey are actually number 1 and 2 in isolated deaths.
Oh, man.
Which is kind of interesting that Chovy's number 1 amongst all of the mid laners.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw a lot of moments when Chovy always tried to do something in the side lanes when teams were struggling. So probably that's why he's isolated that is first place. But I really want to focus on their champion pools because they always try new and fresh champions on mid lane. So maybe you can see a lot of different picks today as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that is our expectation. I think both Chovy and Mickey can just come out with some crazy stuff, and you'll generally feel pretty happy about it, especially in the case of Chovy, who has an immense amount of wins on pretty much all of his champions. He only has 1 loss on Echo and 2 on Twisted Fate. Every other champion he has 1 win, so...
I mean, those are meta picks, you know?
Yeah.
He won all the times on unique picks.
True.
So I want to see more of unique picks from Chovy, but also look at this bot lane. They changed something, and this is the first time starting roster for Mia, so maybe some pressure, but I think this is the timing that he can prove himself for the team and to the LCK fans that they deserve the spot on the bot lane for SeolHaeOne.
Perhaps. I mean, it's an interesting question, especially because Hybrid was the one carry of SeolHaeOne Prince for a long time, and he just wasn't getting the job done, unfortunately. He had a couple of moments, too, that were really head-scratchers when they were ahead, and he kind of... I remember that one play where he kind of threw it at the inhibitor, and then they lost the game, and it was kind of unfortunate. And maybe they just want to say, you know, we got to give the other guys a try because this just isn't working. And it's an interesting time to do it because they're up against currently the best team in the LCK. So we'll have to wait and see if it works out for them as we're going to hop into pick ban for game 1.
I think if SeolHaeOne Prince prepared for normal AD carries on the bot lane, I don't think there is any reason to change their bot lanes. So I expect them to ban most of the AD carries or bot lanes, and here we go. That's already Heimerdinger ban from DRX. Yeah, I mean, I really think Heimerdinger and Senna combo on bot lane is... You cannot lose with those champion combo.
Yeah.
So I really liked it, but we cannot see it from this game. And also, there is Volibear ban. It's really broken jungle, by the way.
It is really good.
Right now, there's no other champions that you can win 1v1 in the jungle against Volibear. So, I mean, DRX is just banning all the champions that always perform really good, even though you're not good enough player, you know?
Yeah.
Like.
And it's interesting, too, because they might not ban Varus here. Deft was on record saying that after the nerfs, he doesn't think that Varus is as oppressive as he once was, which a lot of teams would disagree with, although in recent times, even yesterday, we saw some Varuses coming through, and so it is going to come through once again as TF is taken off the board.
I mean, Varus is one of the good tool to you just get bot pressure for free, you know?
Yeah.
This is not hard. You just shoot some skill shots and you get the lane pressure. Even though you are playing against Daft and carry a bot lane, I can expect SeolHaeOne to just get bot pressure because of this pick.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the champion selection, I would agree. I think that Deft, after the last time up against Heimerdinger, he was like, never again. Or do I want to play against that? Because it's like one of the few times that Deft actually struggled in a laning phase, you could say. So he lets the Varus go. He picks up Ezreal here.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we think about the champions, Varus wins Ezreal early game, but when we think about the players, it's Deft Ezreal, so it can be really different. And also Pyoshik nowadays, he's performing really good. So I always raised up this combo most of the times, Ezreal and Lee Sin, because of their potential and the combo. They always go in and go out 24/7, which is really annoying for enemy champions. So yeah, Flawless, he's known as Rek'Sai as well. Even though Rek'Sai was not the meta champion, he always picked it for the SeolHaeOne's early prior because they always struggled when they had no prior or pressure in the early game. So this is already looking great for SeolHaeOne because they are confirming their bot prior with this Thresh pick.
Yeah, they confirm it there. They get some activity from the jungle as well. With the Rek'Sai, as you did mention, Pyosik also said, I was talking to Ashley Kong a little bit earlier, she was saying that Pyosik really thinks that Lee Sin is actually a top tier jungler right now. So he's one of the few, although, again, a lot of LCK junglers are picking up this pick nowadays to our disappointment, but been doing pretty well as Leona is going to come in here.
They're going full LPL mode right now. Leona, Azrael, Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Those are just OP picks in LPL, right?
Yeah,
they always love to pick it, but I think one of the LCK teams tried this kind of team composition, but it didn't work out because they farmed with it. So
yeah,
I want to see more some aggressive plays by DRX because these picks are good when you play aggressive and when you want to make some early game plays, you know?
Yeah, it's very true, and you're exactly right. You have to get in their face, and I just wonder, you know, who's DRX scrimming nowadays? Who are they losing to that's playing this kind of you know, play style? Although they have been slowly picking it up themselves, as we're going to see a lot of mid-tier bans, you could say, you know, the higher tier selections that are left available. But when it's Mickey and Jovi, I don't think they're going to mind too much, to be honest.
No. We already talked about the unique picks that both mid laners are picking up. So, not this time, I guess.
Yeah. By the way, Azir is available.
Yeah.
So we could see it here. What could happen?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually really interesting because Corki has really low win rate in this meta generally. So, I mean, and also Chovy blind picked the mid lane. Maybe this is the strategy against Mickey to trigger him because his mentality was not that great when we saw him playing because he always like falling really fast when enemy mid laners were like playing aggressive or playing a little bit smarter than him. So, I mean, maybe this is the timing for Mickey to show himself with some unique picks against Corki.
Sylas is going to be the selection here. And could technically be flexed, the two of them, Sylas and Aatrox. But we have seen a bunch of Sylas into Corki in the past. I think we saw it in spring a bit, where you can throw out your own missiles, right? And you can get onto the Corki a little bit easier because you do have so much sticking potential with the Sylas pick.
So, Camille pick here. It's just idea against Aatrox. And nowadays, in Korean solo queue, there's a lot of players keep trying grasp Camille on top side because of the strong laning phase into the great late game potential. So it looks like Doran really likes to play Camille, but last time he was raging because of his jungler.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens this time around with Pyosik Lee Sin on the DRX side.
Yeah, he's got to keep his cool. Doran, an emotional player, it does seem. And we've been seeing a lot more Camille just in general as well. Here in the LCK, I think it has like an 83% win rate, something like 5-1, I believe, at this point.
Yeah.
So a lot of players have been finding success in this exact spot, counterpicking it on red side R5 up against, you know, something like a blind Aatrox.
Yeah, true. And also, we already talked about the key players so many times. And once more, Mickey, he is the player that actually he can lead to the win against DRX because obviously their top lane and bot lane will struggling from the laning phase as well. So I think this is the really great chance because Chubby also picked for late game, not for the early game. So I think it's all about mid laners, and this game is all about mid lane again.
Yeah. Once again, it always comes down to that mid lane between these two laners as we're getting ready to jump into game one. SeolHaeOne Prince up against DRX here for game one of match 29. After today, we're going to be 1/3 of the way done with the regular season of Summer.
Yeah, time goes so fast.
Yeah.
It's almost half.
It's
already been 3 weeks of the LCK. Feels like we started just yesterday. As we do have some shenanigans here, some wards that do get placed down a little bit deeper here from SeolHaeOne Prince onto the red buff. Lots of pings do go onto the red buff by DRX, so maybe they have an idea that they went in there.
Yeah, they have SeolHaeOne Prince currently have 2 casts because they have losing top lane and winning bot lane at the same time. So they need to choose one side. You cannot always cover 2 sides, right? So do you want to cover for the Camille? I mean, do you want to cover for the Aatrox for the early game? Or do you want to snowball it from the bot side because you have Poke Varus and Thresh on the bot lane? And that's the reason why they try to ward in enemy jungle, because they really want to read from the Koshik. And yeah, I mean, they already checked. So
yeah.
We'll see what's gonna happen with these kind of picks on the bot lane, because it feels like it's literally LCK versus LPL from the picks here.
Yeah, it does feel like that for sure. We're taking a look here at some of Trigger and Mia's results in match 11 of spring. So this is probably like February. They took a win with Morgana Pike. That's the duo that you talked about. They also tried a Aphelios Bard very early on, as this lane is, is not going well for Ixu.
Yeah.
Although he does get a decent trade back.
I mean, Pyoshik is pathing towards topside. I mean, Flawless also, because they already knew that this is the possible option for the DRX, because it's obviously counter matchup. And I already talked about this Camille build. It has really strong laning phase, so there is no reason to Ixu to play aggressive in this lane, because if he fails one time, then he will get dove, and the game will crash to the ground.
That is for sure. And you can see that Flawless is hanging around up towards the top side. We saw an extended trade here in the mid lane. This is what I was talking about for Sylas versus Corki, even with Valkyrie available. It can be a bit easier compared to some other champions to get on top of that Corki. At least Chovy was able to take the winning extended trade because of his range advantage. As you can see, they get the hook on a carrier, but they actually arrow down onto Deft, trying to chip down that Ezreal.
And Flawless got the topside Skarls, even though SeolHaeOne does not have top lane and mid lane prior. That was really smart play by Flawless, but also he's looking for the top lane gank as well, because he knows that Doran is going to play aggressive in this lane.
Just a little bit of action. They're trying to bait the hook shot. As, okay, we do have a fight down on the bottom side. They're looking for the first blood, but here comes the TP out of blue team. But they're trying to wait here. Carriot getting super low, and he's going to be the first one to go down, as Death will also bite the dust. Double kill goes the way of Mickey. Although in the extended trade, it does look like Chovy and Pyoshik are going to look to run down Trigger. I think that Q was going to miss, but he flashed anyway to get out of there. As a couple of kills going either way.
Yeah, 2 kills for Sylas and 2 kills for Lee Sin. It's, I guess, the early game is for them right now, because they got 2 early kills, and there was really great TP backup from Mickey. He's the one who really needs the early game lead, and he got the double kill. So this is I mean, in CS-wise, it's pretty sad, but already great start by SeolHaeOne right now. And this is the topside situation, I guess, that we missed. But this is why you pick Camille.
Yeah.
And also DRX tried first on the bot lane gank because they knew that Flawless is on the top side. But that was the Mickey who was TPing earlier than Chovy. So they traded 2 kills on the bot lane, even though it was 3 versus 4.
Actually, on watching that again, I think maybe the Q was going to land. So either way, Trigger taking it more carefully, wants to make sure he does not give a kill over to the Corki, especially this early on, as here's Flawless again, flashing in. That is a fantastic engage. Keria in a little bit of trouble. At least the Lee Sin is here, and Keria is going to live, as Deft is trying to run them down, but is just nobody's going to die at the end of that extended trade. As here comes Chovy, and he had his flash, but he thought he would take 2 autos to do it, so he decided not to go for it.
That was great backup by Pyoshik on the bot side. He already knew that what's gonna happen on the bot side on the SeolHaeOne side. And yeah, I mean, that was great try by SeolHaeOne, but Pyoshik already knew everything.
Yeah, he was in the perfect position for the counter gank there. He's able to keep that lane alive too in terms of fighting over this early dragon. Chovy's already doing really nicely here in the mid lane. If he can keep the bottom lane alive and keep the priority down there, then they could potentially roll this into a Drake. It's either hanging around it, they're going to ping the ward out. Thresh just went back, but with Leona going back, doesn't look like they're going to start that one up just yet.
And I think this is the game that SeolHaeOne already played smarter than any other games that they played in Summer Split, because they always fall really fast after first skirmishes. Like, they had no idea what's happening in the map, and like they were just dying 24/7. That's why, this is the reason why they were having most deaths in LCK, right? But this time around, even though it's against DRX, maybe because of the new bot lane, they are already playing smarter than most of the games. And yeah, maybe peaks are helping them, or yeah, as I mentioned, players are helping them. Mia and Trigger, they're already playing pretty well on the bot lane.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job of keeping up with the CS at least, and they've created a lot of action. Down on the bottom side here, Mia did have a really nice setup on the kill, and if Pyoshik wasn't there, as we were talking about, that could have just been an easy double kill going the way of SeolHaeOne Prince, but didn't quite pan out, as now Pyoshik is looking to collapse up on the top side here. Ixu trying to push this one. We do have the Hextech ultimatum here. He's just going to be put into that immediately, and the burst damage, not enough just yet, actually. The sustain out of the Aatrox is insane. With that ultimate available, he is just able to stand his ground. He doesn't even have to flash away from the gank.
There's no healing reduction item from Doran yet, so that was pretty rough, and it was great direction by Ixu at the same time. And yeah, I mean, he bought cold, so yeah, he has no damage, obviously.
Doran's just sitting here and he's just trying to farm.
I mean, he's trying to cover topside more than last time, because Doran was raging when he was playing last time, right? And he even mentioned in an interview that please cover topside when I talk to you, right? So, but this time around it didn't work out well, and SeolHaeOne is the one who gets the header on topside. And yeah, I mean, everything seems really great for SeolHaeOne already, because we'll see what's going to happen.
Oh, this might not be too good for them. They're going for it, forcing the flash. The Chains of Corruption might get the kill on the Deft, and it does. Ooh. Trigger just sitting back and easily 1v2ing as Deft gets caught under the turret in a very unfortunate spot.
That was really calm and collected play by Trigger. Maybe this is the reason why SeolHaeOne tried the new bot lane. Because as you mentioned it, Hybrid is always the one who hypes up and always like be really up and playing like maybe a little bit no idea. But this time around Trigger, he showed up why he got subbed in for the early game. And that was like so clean play.
It's so calm, and even Deft flashes away. He tried to avoid that last turret hit, and he was just a little bit late. He doesn't look too affected in the player cam, as he normally is. So we'll see if he can keep his calm after getting bopped under the enemy turret.
I'm not sure that Varus is nerfed.
Yeah.
When I played against it and play with it, I feel exact same as old Varus, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, Varus is already playing really great by Trigger, and DRX is keep trying top gank, but they do not have healing reduction item yet, so I'm not sure if it's gonna work.
Oh, and here comes Flawless too. They're gonna try to bait him into it. We got a TP coming in too. They don't have the burst damage to kill this Aatrox. They finally do it, but now they're gonna be on the run as here comes Mickey. Yoshik getting low, and he's gonna hit the Q, but he dies before he can get onto it as the flash from the Camille might be enough to take out Flawless here. Chovy finally makes his way up and is able to pick up a kill. Just like that, he's also massively ahead when it comes to the CS department in the mid lane.
Yeah, I was gonna mention about it, and Chovy is already bad.
Yeah.
Because he got called, and he is leading the CS by like 40 CS difference, I guess, on Corki. I guess this is not the late game pick I was talking about in ban picks for DRX when Chovy picks Corki blind like this. He is already super bad, and yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what's gonna happen for the SeolHaeOne Prince. I mean, they are doing great in the early game, but it feels like slowly, even though DRX bot lane is struggling against this Varus trash bot lane, it feels like Chovy's like, nah, I don't care.
Yeah.
I will carry this game, so.
Yeah, he's just chilling there. I mean, he's over 40 CS ahead over his melee opponent. As here comes Flawless, he does have the Rift Herald. Wants to drop that down before plates go down and before it expires. So he'll be looking to hand those plates over to his bottom lane. And there he well, they're actually going to split it between Trigger and Flawless here. So he gets out of the way of the gold.
Yeah. For now, I think DRX is gonna slow down the game a little bit because I feel like it's more about Pyoshik and Chovy this game around. Pyoshik already got so many kills on him, and Chovy, I don't think he feels really hurry in this game, especially when he's playing Corki, and he's already over farming.
Yeah.
This timing around. Yeah, I mean, I thought they have no damage. They have not enough damage against Ixu, but this time around, they had enough damage and also TP backup by Chovy, even though they started pretty well on SeolHaeOne side. This is really critical that you gave up 3 kills on Corki.
Yeah, and it's Chovy that gets later teleports, but then has more of an effect in the team fight twice in a row, which is kind of crazy. More so in that top fight, you can say. And he's gone for Hex Drinker here. I suppose that's going to be good on the burst damage of Sylas, but there's not a whole lot of magic damage outside of that here in this composition from SeolHaeOne Prince.
I think he already he already checked the stats that he has the most isolated death. in the mid lane. So
yeah.
probably that's why he is preparing Hex Drinker, even though it's kind of weak Silas on the SeolHaeOne side. And yeah, I mean their game plan is so simple. Just protect Chovy, and his job is not dying at all, and just play safe and just poke some enemies. So I think even though they have 1 magic damage, it's pretty good choice by Chovy. And here comes with the Drake right now. SeolHaeOne Prince still has the bot Priya, so I don't think they really want to let this against DRX.
Yeah, they're gonna set up for it here. Here comes Lee Sin. Trying to throw out an ultimate there, it's gonna miss, but Flawless takes an insane amount of damage already. Here comes the TP, they want to turn onto Aatrox, who is all alone in the middle of 5 DRX members. And immediately you can see the rest of SeolHaeOne Prince kind of scattered. And just get the hell out of there. So that is going to be another Drake going the way of DRX.
Lantern denied by DRX, I don't know who it was, probably Keria. They tried to stop it with Ixu's TP, but because of Keria's engage, their side was blocked, and also they tried to save Ixu, but it got denied by DRX, so already got 2 Drakes on Azure Corki side, and this is disaster for SeolHaeOne right now. This engage was just so great. Also, Daphne is just shooting all the skill shots. Let them block.
Easy. That's what Keria probably said after picking that one up. And yeah, I mean, it's just another fight that's going to slowly widen the gap here between these two teams. DRX get the one Drake that get them closer to the Infernal Soul. You can see that SeolHaeOne Prince, they never really back down. You know, they're not going to let objectives go for free. They're always going to fight for them. They see Shirley here. They know that DRX backed away. They say, hey, we can take this at least. But they are giving Daft a bit of free farm down in the bottom side. And they're already going up against a very strong Corki. You don't want to go up against very strong Corki, Ezreal, and even Camille, who is 1-0 and 2.
Yeah, and for SeolHaeOne side, they really need to snowball this game against Corki and Ezreal, because, I mean, it looks really close game, but when it comes to the team composition and the Drake, it's really rough for the SeolHaeOne right now.
Yeah, interesting flash. The Q lands, and he just died.
He just dashed in.
Yeah.
For Chovy.
I don't know what that was, but he immediately got sat down. That's for sure.
That was critical miss again by SeolHaeOne, who really needs to snowball all the game against Azura and Corki again. And it feels like it's already doomed.
Yeah.
For them.
It does kind of feel like that. They gathered up a bunch of members in the mid lane. You see Aatrox, he's full health, but he's like, well, I can't approach this turret right now. We don't have any map control. Let's take another look.
I mean, this is small play by Keria. Like, he was hiding himself, and I don't know what happened to Flawless. He just dashed in, and
what was that?
Maybe this is the magic when it comes to Chovy's Corki.
Yeah.
Everyone makes him shine.
It's like a black hole, right? And he just
I guess, yeah.
Sucks everything in from around him and says, I'm going to kill you. I mean, he could have definitely tunneled the other way, but seemingly decided not to. And yeah, that was pretty critical. I think he could have definitely gotten away from there by just responding to Keria's flash with his own flash and then tunneling away, but
yep,
that wasn't the way it was meant to be, I suppose. DRX, full control of this game. They're going to feed up the Corki even more. Take a look at the items here from Chovy. He was able to, so far, just pick up the Phage, but I'm sure he's sitting on a lot of gold waiting for the Trinity Force.
Yep.
That will be next.
And yeah, I think SeolHaeOne right now is on dilemma that they really need to fight to snowball this game, but they lose the fight, I feel like. Because they have no damage. They have not enough damage right now. Even though Varus has 2 items, I don't think he can poke Corki down 100 to 0 when Corki is already having 2 items at half against this 3-kill Sylas. I mean, he's not doing at all.
Yeah.
He's just farming with Sylas, and I don't think you want to farm with this pick. You want to make some more situations, more skirmishes when it comes to this kind of matchup. But yeah, I mean, he's just farming for 10 minutes on the bot side with Sylas, so I don't know why he picked this champion.
Yeah. Sylas is never going to scale as well as the Corki. You can't just sit there and try to go even, and hopefully it works out better later on in the game. As Chovy finishes Trinity Force, my suspicions were correct. He was out of inventory space, so he was just waiting for a little bit more gold so he could pick it up. And that was an interesting package. I'm sure he wanted to get on the opposite side of that wall, but he can easily just boundary over.
I really felt like they really need to fight for this Drake, but SeolHaeOne Prince, man, they're just giving up everything, and maybe they decide to farm for one more item. But guys, you are playing against Ezreal and Corki, and you are playing Varus and Sylas, by the way. By the way. Yeah. So I don't see the reason why they gave up this Drake for free. I was thinking that this was the last chance for SeolHaeOne Prince, but I feel like this game goes more in a deep dark when it comes to SeolHaeOne side. Yeah,
it does feel like they've kind of they look a little bit defeated in terms of the way they're playing, just way too passively, and just, you know, sitting back and kind of letting it happen at this point. And yeah, there's a big discrepancy when it does come to the items. The items that were built here by Mickey are definitely cheaper as well. And still, Chovy is ahead as Doran, he's been just left alone to get a nice little lead in his own side lane. Mickey says, well, that's my lane, actually. As Ixu and Mia are coming for the potential gank.
They need to make something happen random, because in theory, in 5v5, there is no way that DRX loses this kind of team fights when it comes to items and champions. So yeah, I mean, it's really rough to SeolHaeOne Prince to snowball this game anymore, because you lose both sides right now, and you even lose on the mid lane. As Varus Thresh, you are getting pushed in by Ezreal Leona. So I don't think there is any chance for SeolHaeOne if they keep farming. Maybe this is the timing that they really need to fight. Even though it looks really hard, it's gonna get harder and harder.
Yeah, that's true. It's the dilemma you were talking about. Either you try to fight now, or you just lose through time ticking, basically. And I suppose they decided, well, we're going to make our stand at the Infernal Soul. Maybe that's their idea. But already with DRX's lead and even just the one Infernal Drink, they're going to be getting so much more value for all of their damage carries that they do have on their team that are all going for a lot of damage, including even the Sin.
I mean, they have no late game, SeolHaeOne. This is not the timing that they have to farm for the items or for the tempo. They just need to make some random plays, I already mentioned so many times, and that's why they were ahead in, at least in team kills, like average kills, right? But this time around, they're really calm and collected. Maybe they should play more Aphelios and Corki. When they really want to play like this, so maybe they are looking for the plays right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying, right? As Keria is in a little bit of a wonky spot. He's got Stoneplate and Flash, though, as here comes the poke. Doran is going to be denied by the stopwatch, and Sylas's mobility is actually going to get him away. Mia flashing away from that one. Deft a little bit too scary, as there were no actual kills in the fight, but DRX still won it.
Yeah, in terms of summoner spells trade, they already won the team fight and still having mid prior. And yeah, it's getting harder and harder. It's, I think, less than 1% of chance for SeolHaeOne to win this kind of team fight, because Ezreal already have QSS. That's why he was aiming for Leona, even though she has gargoyle plates, right? So yeah, I'm not sure if you can win the team fight when you focus on Leona first, as the gargoyle stone plate.
And now with the package, it looks like they're just gonna go ahead, easily take this Infernal. SP might take a final stand here that we've been looking for. They're at least finally trying to make some plays in the mid lane after Deft and Keria get a little bit down the lane. But now they are truly gathering up for that one last-ditch effort. Jovi's here. He has the package. He's never going to get hit by that, but he actually gets hooked. As in goes Keria, and Jovi going to come along the side here. Another stopwatch down. Down goes Keria, or not Keria, Mia. As Mixu is just going to be chased down, and there you have it. Just being run down is the side of SP, as DRX just easily pick up 3 kills.
I'm not sure if I have to talk in a good way, because I don't feel like this game DRX played good. It feels like more on SeolHaeOne side. I really felt like they just gave up their advantage that they had from the early game. Like Silas got double kills on the bot lane, and Varus and Thresh was getting all the bot priors, even though like they're having all the advantage from the picks and plays that they made for the early game. They were not making plays over and over again when they really need to snowball early game. So that's my question. And this is so weird that they gave up everything after that great early game. And this is not the fight that you were looking for. There is no chance SeolHaeOne is winning this game fight. Like, literally.
Yeah. At this point, we can definitely say no. And it was pretty straightforward. I mean, they just got caught. They thought they were the ones catching the Corki, but in fact, that was not going to happen. He's even got that extra Hex String.
Yeah.
Or that little bit of extra survivability, just in case. Not that the Silas is going to be able to do too much damage at all. DRX now just trying to slowly push in as they're trying to bait here. Flawless might just die immediately, though. Goes for the ultimate. The TP is coming in, but Ixu is immediately going to burst down. Now Flawless, he's in a bit of trouble. The Lee Sin, you can see, is looking for it. In goes Doran, and they're going to take down 3 already. As Mia alone and Trigger now alone. They're just going to go for it, man. They're not going to hold back. DRX just going to push it in. They have a wave in the mid lane, and it looks like they'll go to try to end the game now.
Yeah, again, I don't think DRX played any kind of special. They were just farming, by the way. They were just farming in the lane, and just randomly SeolHaeOne Prince just gave up the game. So, yeah.
That's going to do it. They're not going to even wait for any kills. Oh, they might. They're not killing the minions. They want to get
Is he mad?
Oh. And, okay. That didn't even count as a kill, even though he died. Down goes the Nexus, as DRX once again are going to declare themselves the heavy winner in game number 1. Looked very simple for them, to be honest. And SeolHaeOne Prince, unfortunately, another disappointing performance. But again, they're up against currently the best team in the LCK in terms of standings, as DRX kind of just went by the textbook.
I'm happy to see how he improved Pyoshik. Like, in Spring Split, I was talking about Pyoshik being overrated.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I mean, obviously, he was really bad jungler in Spring Split, but this time around, I really think he deserves more spotlight. He deserves more kind of attention because
yeah,
his Lee Sin was so great in this game. He was covering on the bot lane. He was ganking on the top side even though that one was not working out. He gave some kills for Chovy and he was making all the skirmishes. So I really want to just raise him up, and I already voted POG for Yoshi for the game one.
And I do think he deserves it. I mean, you might see some other people vote for Chovy here. It was kind of just him scooping kills at the end of fights that he didn't do anything in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure he played good. I mean, obviously he played good, right? But
I mean, he won, but
I mean, I felt like he was just farming, and SeolHaeOne was just running into him.
Yeah, it's true, and he got fed because there were fights that were going in his team's direction, and then he came in late, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, thank you for this assist. Yeah, I'll take a kill as well. Thank you." And he did end up with the most damage in the game, but absolutely, I mean, when you're considering the player of the game, you have to consider the amount that they contributed to their team's win, their victory, and I do agree. I think it should be Pyoshik in this one, but I am curious to see what other people are going to vote for this one, especially when it's like stomps like this. It can be difficult to vote. So.
I mean, I think if you want to be really boring and boomer, then you vote for Chovy, and we'll see what's going to happen.
Okay, well, maybe we'll see some of those boomer votes as we are going to take a little break before we do get into the next game, guys. We'll see the votes in the analyst desk. We'll be right back.